So this is Meek from Visions of Atlantis. I'm super excited to be in this period of time of the year in which we are like giving interviews and promoting the upcoming record. You know, these are the most exciting months for us. Visions of Atlantis, for those who do not know us, it's a symphonic metal band that was born in Austria, became international now because I'm from Italy, and Clementine, which is the female singer, she's from France. So basically, even if it started as an Austrian project, now we consider ourselves a fully European band. And right now, I would say that we are holding the crown of symphonic, of the old school or the classic symphonic metal, I would say, because with so many other bands drifting away from the jar, it feels like we are getting lonely, which is not the best thing, you know. Like we need more symphonic metal bands around. It feels like the trend has gone away, but we still stick to what we believed in since years and years. So yeah, if you like symphonic metal, we are the band for you.
Beautiful. Meek, thanks for joining us today.
Sorry, please. Sorry,
Thank
what?
you. Thank you for joining us today.
Oh, it's my pleasure, man. Absolutely. You know, like Australia, especially, it's like a part of the world that we never visited, and I'm so much looking forward to come there and tour sometimes. This is one of my, to-do list in life, play in Australia and Oceania in general. It's something that we are really, really, really excited for. So thank you for inviting us, and I hope that this will help in the purpose, in the cause.
So, Visions of Atlantis are set to reinforce your status as one of the premier symphonic metal bands in the world with the release of your new album, Pirates to Armada, on July the 5th. So how are you feeling about it?
As I said, I'm super excited. You know, like this is the work of 2 years that is finally coming to life. You know, like in this moment, we are super excited and looking forward to the feedback that we will receive on this record, because we put our hearts and souls, as always, in preparing this new record. And then, this is the hot moments and the hot months before the release, and you don't really know. We write the music, we write what we feel, we write our emotion, we put them down in songs, and you never know what the feedback, what the feedback will be like. So now we are receiving the first one from reviewers, interviewers like you, but at the end of the day, it's the fans are the real judges, and the ones that will tell the verdict about this entire thing. Let's see.
As the name would suggest, mate, it's a successor to your previous album, Pirates, which came out in 2022. So how do the two albums connect?
So when we started writing Pirates, the first Pirates, I have to say, tell you the truth, actually, we didn't know yet that it would have been like an all-in the pirate universe. Because before that record, yes, Visions of Atlantis was flirting with the pirate theme. Our cover artworks, our songs were all about, ocean exploration. There were songs like The Siren and The Sailor. There were songs like The Silent Mutiny that were absolutely pirate related, but we didn't expose ourselves as we did in Pirates. And then, we were into the songwriting process, into the recording process with our producer, and we just looked at each other and we told each other, hey, why do we just flirt with this? Let's go all in. Let's expose ourselves. And, the thing is that nowadays, I feel like we are big kids still in need of storytelling. Every adult of nowadays needs to get out of reality and listen to a story. All the stories, they have a morality. There is always a meaning behind every story. But when you are a kid and your dad or your mom read a story from a book to you before going to bed, or when you watch, I don't know, a Disney movie, you are completely taken away from reality. You are put in this different universe, and you just live over there, and you understand things better. Something triggers inside of you. Nowadays, we are adults. I'm almost 40. We are 30, 25. We are metalheads, but we still need storytelling to get out of reality. And we chose the pirate world, the pirate universe, first of all, because we love it. We are fascinated by it, but also because pirates are free spirits. Pirates are people who live by their own rules. They don't know what's next, because around you there is only a vast ocean, with no point of reference, and you just decide to go one direction and to follow it, and every day is a discovery, basically. When we decided to go all in with this concept, we told ourselves, man, this works. This is so beautiful. This is so fascinating. It doesn't only work for the people, it works for us too, because we reflect ourselves in what we're doing. And when we started writing the new record, we were like, why the hell should we change something? Like, there is absolutely no reason now that we found ourselves to change anything. And this is why we went on with this Pirate 2. But I believe that, I mean, I don't know if we will call it Pirate 3 or Pirate 4, but this theme is not going to change. It stays with us because it's so efficient on any level.
Yeah. Now, written through the press release, it says that the album will take listeners on the band's heaviest symphonic adventure yet. Do you agree with that? Is it your heaviest adventure?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely,
So,
absolutely. Like the sound, if we speak about the music and about the songs themselves, this is for sure the heaviest record that the Visions of Atlantis ever recorded. And it's not only about, like many bands states this because it's, because it's a catchy sentence, but at the very end of the day, in this record, there is a lot of riffing, there are breakdowns, there are really, really extreme moments for the symphonic metal jar. And before this record, we were always definitely more, how would you say, calm. I would use this word. Like symphonic metal is a difficult style as a songwriter and as a musician. Talking as a songwriter and as a musician, because you always have to balance melody and this big orchestra to be implanted in the songs. And sometimes it happens that the soundscapes of the orchestra, they just overwhelm the metal, the drums, the bass, the guitar, because to make people hear clearly what the orchestra is doing, it's hard to find a compromise without sacrificing the guitars. I believe that in this record, the balance leans a bit towards the guitars and the bass and the drums rather than the orchestra, which doesn't mean that it's not a symphonic metal record, because there are big orchestra all over the place. But we decided to put under the spotlight everything that is metal, so that we can be a real symphonic metal band with a cap M on the M, like because we love it, we just love it. We are metalheads. This is where my favorite bands are Iron Maiden, Judas Priest. Like I'm a metalhead, and not feeling the metal vibe in some songs in the past didn't always feel right, I would say.
well, I can actually back that statement up, mate, because I've had to listen to the album, and it is heavy as fucking parts. Like you managed to nail it, but look, when you think of symphonic music, you don't really think of the heaviness. So is it difficult to give that heavy layer to symphonic metal? Like it sort of sounds like they'd be warring against each other.
I think that, there are some bands, like I immediately think of Epica. Epica, they managed to do this really well because they have some really sick parts. They have some breakdowns and some riffing that is really extreme. But they also use growls to make it heavier, So, and Visions of Atlantis, we don't have this. We don't have this extreme aspect of the genre. Some other bands, indeed, and Visions of Atlantis before Pirates and Pirates 2, I want to put ourselves in this list. We also sometimes probably went too much in with the orchestra stuff, as you just said, and sometimes you lost a bit the spice of heavy metal, the heaviness, just the heavy riffing and the heavy groove that, in my opinion, is needed. It's really needed, especially live. Especially live, you feel it, because this is also something, when you bring these songs live, they shouldn't sound different. They should sound as you perceive them on stage and in studio in the same way. And sometimes when there is so much orchestra and you don't have a real orchestra on stage, because of course you cannot take it with you, it just sounds different. And yeah, I personally struggled a bit with this aspect, and this is one of the critiques that often happened. But right now it's gone. I think we're there. I think we're 100% there.
Awesome. Now, this is going to be your third studio album with Visions of Atlantis since joining in 2018. So how are you growing into your role? Is it getting more natural for you playing with these guys?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Right now, I feel free to say that we are a family. We truly are a family. When I got in the band in 2018, we actually were strangers. We didn't know each other. Like I auditioned as many others. before me, and as many others in other bands. And I got into a band made of people from other countries that I had no idea about. Like I didn't know anyone. The reason why I got called, why I got the gig, is because Siegfried, the previous singer of the band, was of course leaving, and he knew that I was going to tour with Visions of Atlantis as opening act with my other project. And when I accepted the job because they liked my audition, we were strangers.
Yeah.
Then year after year, and this is the first time ever in the history of Visions of Atlantis, year after year, we got more and more together, and now the lineup is unchanged since 2018, and there is no way it's going to change because we bonded so well together. We truly are family. Just think that we even go on holiday together sometimes.
That's awesome.
I totally feel like we are back to 18 years old, when we were in the same rehearsal room with, of course, with other people, gigging together, playing together, rehearsing together, when you are excited just to get into the rehearsal room to perform with your friends. And this is what's going on now with Visions, and it's just amazing. I hope this stays the same for infinitely. But yeah,
I'm on your side, brother. That's great. That's great.
It's family.
Now, one of the strengths of Visions of Atlantis' music is the dynamics between yourself and Clementine, who provides the female vocals. But how does that process work in the creative stage? Like, do you just write together, or do you run through the vocal parts, or do you write separately and bring them in?
This took a while. I believe this took a while to achieve, but yes, right now, basically, when I am the main songwriter of Visions of Atlantis right now. Like I would say, the 90% of the last record has been written by me, and then there are some help in the melodies and in the structure that has been given by Clemmy herself. What happens is that when I write a song, the first thing I think of is Clemmy's voice. The first thing that I try to picture when I write the melodies, when I write the structures of the song, is how this would dress on her voice, because I believe this is the absolute most important thing. Vocals are the connection between the listener and the band itself. So whatever is coming afterwards, it's an arrangement of vocal lines. This is how I personally perceive our way of composing music nowadays. And of course, when Clemmy is the female singer, the main singer, it's important that every note and every melody dress her perfectly. So when I start writing a new melody, the first thing I try to do is to close my eyes and to try to imagine how her voice sounds on the melody that I'm writing, and I try to adapt it so that it works well with her way of providing emotion, her way of approaching the song, her way of expressing herself. Then I adapt my vocal lines to the main melodies that are mostly all the time sang by Clemmy. I feel like I am like a secondary singer when it comes to the choruses, but of course the melodies has to work perfectly when I become the primary singer in my lines, in my verses, because most of 99% of the songs of Visions of Atlantis have this alternation between Clemmy and I in the verses, but then in the choruses it's always Clemmy's voice who is taking the lead, always, because it just works perfectly. And I think it's fair enough. She's the ambassador. She's the captain of this of this pirate crew. So first of all, there is this interchange, this exchange of emotion, dynamics, and feelings between the two vocals, and then everything else is going to support and serve this. Keeping in mind that big melodies and big themes are also fundamental, because when the voice doesn't sing, it's the horn or the strings or the orchestra that takes the lead and gives us the theme. Every song needs for us to have a chorus line and a theme, just like a movie. Because if you think of it, think of Star Wars, you immediately think of, bam, 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 bam,
You're right.
the theme, Then you think of Indiana Jones, and you have, the theme of Indiana Jones. Back to the Future, you have the theme of Back to the Future. So themes for cinematic and symphonic bands are fundamental. So this is one element that we need to write. And then there is the song itself, especially with its chorus, because the chorus is what people will sing along. So once these two elements are well defined, the rest becomes easier to put down. But this is where I start from, and I believe that this is our power. This is our superpower. What characterizes Visions of Atlantis is big themes and big sing-along choruses that are meant to be a soundtrack of a pirate adventure.
Fantastic, Meek. Well, thanks very much for joining us tonight, mate. It's been an absolute pleasure speaking with you, bro. The new album, Pirates 2 Armada, is out July the 5th, and it's an absolute cracker of an album, mate. You've done well, and we'll see how we go about getting you out this side of the world very shortly.
I mean, again, I would dream to come over, New Zealand and Australia. This would be like my life goal realized. So hopefully we will make it.